dignitaries and fellow delegates. I am very happy to be here with you on the invitation of my good friend Dr. Basav Prabhu Jirli in this 2 days development conclave that is on transformation of Bharat. So a very apt and enthusiastic and more challenging the title which has been coined for this 2 days development conclave. So you have already had mostly the hectic day yesterday and today is the second day. So on this occasion, the keynote speech given me is on future agriculture, growth and contribution. So I am not here to deliver a structured speech and take you further. Instead, so I will share my random thoughts about the requirements in the development of future agriculture, how we have to face the challenges for food security as well as nutritional security in order to meet the ever increasing the population of the country. So we have been doing this since the Green Revolution. Of course, before that also agriculture was there, the traditional agriculture everyone knows. So in order to feed the ever increasing the population of the country, India had no option for going for the Green Revolution and introduction of high yielding varieties of crops in especially in the food crops, rice and wheat. So because of that we are self-sufficient, not only self-sufficient and also we are surplus in food grains. And I think the surplus is so much, we are wasting a lot in the storage. Even if there are no rains or in the acute drought situations, we can feed the population at least for 1 year. So that much of surplus food production we have, especially in the food grains, mostly rice, wheat, maize. And of course we are shortage in oil seeds especially, and to some extent pulses. So our strategies should be for enhancing the oilseed production as well as the pulse production in order to meet the requirement of the population. So before that, for the future agriculture, the important things that we have to bear it in mind is innovation, sustainability and inclusivity. These are the three important aspects or the concepts that we have to bear in mind, and any challenges in agriculture in future so can be tackled. The innovations is ever requiring in any of the branch of the science or the field. The innovations and basic research are most welcome. We are not only targeting the applied research, So most of the scholars, I learned that the scholars are attending this. So kindly devote your attention to basic as well as applied research. One should not forget my sincere request to the scholars. So don't be only after the applied research. The basic research is most important. So that is where we can contribute to the innovation in the science. And there will be many takers for your small technology in the applied research. So that's what for the young generations I wanted to indicate. Whatever the research problems our research scholars can take, at least devote 25 to 30% of your the research objectives to the innovations as well as the basic research. That will long way to take any field of science to solve our continuous problems. So coming to the agriculture, the sustainable growth in agriculture is most important. For that, our priority now should be on the natural resources. So agriculture is mainly depending upon the two important natural resources. One is soil and another one is on water. Unless we give importance to these two natural resources, so I don't think the agricultural activities will be the sustainable. So for that, Government of India as well as Government of Karnataka is continuously designing the program for exploring and making the documentation of the natural resources. Holistically, the land resources. It includes the land, biodiversity, water resources. So unless we give our priority on the natural resources, conservation, development, and then management. These three are most important with respect to natural resources. So first we should aim at the conservation of our natural resources, which is being depleted, which is being degraded. The land, water, as well as biodiversity. These three are most important in conserving. For this purpose, the Government of India and Karnataka, with the World Bank funded project, in the introduction they have indicated, we have implemented Sujala project. The Sujala projects are not new to Government of Karnataka. They are there continuously. I think Kinnal Sahab must be knowing the implementation of the Sujala projects for soil and water conservation. The latest one was science-based soil and water conservation project. The World Bank never funded science-based project. That was the first science-based project, Sujala 3, funded to Government of Karnataka through Government of India for land resource inventory based soil and water conservation. So for that, all the agriculture universities in Karnataka were involved, and by using the state-of-the-art facilities with the collaboration of ISRO, especially Karnataka State Remote Sensing Application Agency, the high-resolution satellite data was made used for land resource inventory, at 1:8,000 scale. Land resource inventory data has been made used for taking stock of all the land resources and mapped at 1:8,000 scale for each micro watershed on pilot basis, of course. Initially, we had 2,500 micro watersheds in Karnataka, and that was completed by 2019. Now, in the second phase, the Sujala 3 in the second phase, they have coined a beautiful name in order to complement the work of the Sujala 3, reward. Okay, the abbreviation is, I don't exactly take it out. So it is again soil and water conservation. They have made it reward as a short form in order to complement the work of the Sujala 3 project. Now it is ongoing with much more than 25,000 micro watershed involving all the agriculture universities in Karnataka, and also now Orissa state is involved for taking into stock of natural resources. So in order to have resource conservation technologies at micro watershed level. It is a concurrent project. Simultaneously, whatever the data generated by land resource inventory is being made available to the line department after mapping. Then DPR is prepared, and on sub-watershed base, the recommendations is simultaneously implemented, and the results are seen after 1 or 2 years, and it is being also evaluated by third party for the monitoring and evaluation purpose. So such holistic natural resource study, conservation, development and monitoring and management is most important at this juncture. So you know the importance of the soil. Those who are not aware of, or those who have not studied the soil, for the formation of an inch of soil requires hundreds of years. With the active involvement of the climate. If the climate is not active, even hundreds of years doesn't alter the hard rock. You can see the Himalayan ranges. You can see the desert area where the climate is not active, precipitation is not there, temperature is not there. So under the congenial conditions, at least hundreds of years are required to form 1 inch of soil. That 1 inch of soil is being degraded or removed with the high intensity rain. If that is not taken care, then where is the top fertile soil for growing the crops to meet the requirement of our population? That's what our most important task is, to conserve the soil and then water. They are the two faces of a coin for agriculture. Without these two natural resources, we don't venture into agriculture. Simultaneously, when you conserve soil with the recommendations of the watershed development activities, the water is conserved. Water is conserved in situ, and also when it is going out of the field, the recommendations are there to conserve in the farm pond. That's what this particular the Sujala recommendations have gone to Government of Karnataka, and a number of the farm ponds have been dug on the farmers' field in the Krishi Bhagya Yojana. A number of farm ponds have been dug, and the groundwater is being replenished or rejuvenated. Okay. So because of this one simple intervention, groundwater is being continuously recharged, and for the purpose of irrigation, of course, they are providing the polythene lining to avoid the seepage losses and protecting the crops. That is the another important aspect. That is the resource development and utilization. And when the water goes out of the land, because 100% water we cannot store on the land, it will find the natural drainage system. There also recommendations are there to halt the flowing water at a definite interval by constructing the bridges, barrages, small dams, like that, so that again groundwater, it facilitates the groundwater recharge and also useful for the irrigation purpose. So like this, the first and foremost important task, the natural resource conservation and development, can be achieved if it is holistically implemented not only in Karnataka, throughout the country. Unless we conserve these two natural resources, so I don't think there is a future for agriculture. So if we allow our land to be degraded with continuous high intensity of rainfall, the topsoil is eroded, silted in the natural drain, and also it goes to river and then reservoirs. All our reservoirs are being silted. Their capacity is being reduced. That's how you see it's going outside its the reservoir area and causing flood. It's become main reason for our floods through the natural stream course is silting. Silting of our drainage line and silting of the reservoirs. Their entire capacity is not there nowadays. And it is very difficult to venture into desilting process. So huge the labor requirement is there. Instead, so if we restrict, so it is not a new idea. Soil and water conservation technique is not at all a new idea. People are not taking seriousness and conserving the soil, topsoil. So unless it is done on mass movement basis. So that's what World Bank has funded for this purpose, science-based soil and water conservation project, and we are doing it on micro watershed basis. That is a unit, because that is a hydrological unit, and where the water collected goes through one point and treating is done holistically. Orissa government has come forward to adopt that. Of course, the Andhra government was also given opportunity to be partner in this, but they failed to involve. So because it is a new state, they did not ready to contribute 25% of the requirement. And I am very happy to inform you that Karnataka is the knowledge partner and master trainer for Orissa in this aspect. And we are very happy, all the agricultural universities, so they are well trained in soil and water conservation measures, land resource inventory, and in 5 years we have trained 150 manpower who are just SSLC, PUC, diploma in agriculture. They speak the language of soil survey. They can interpret satellite remote sensing imageries. how many of you, the scholars, can interpret the satellite imageries? That's what the training of human resource is. Human resources training for each and every aspect is most important, and we are not losing that the quality human resources. They have been continued in the future, and we are requesting the Government of India and Karnataka to handhold them at least to take this land resource inventory further on pilot basis and on holistic district wise, taluk wise and district wise, to cover entire Karnataka, at least wherever the land resource is to be treated. So once we conserve soil and water, and it's the development process is being done, and we have to manage those two wisely. For that we have already the technologies in the agriculture, the conservation of conserved water or stored water, how best it can be made used. We have now the on surface irrigation, we have the water saving techniques, also the sprinkler techniques are there, drip irrigation techniques are there. Nowadays the sensor based irrigation techniques are also being implemented. So those who are here physics background or the engineers, you have a lot of opportunity for development of the sensors, for the moisture indication, and also the soil moisture based the sensors which can give signal to the automation system and take switch on and switch off the irrigation systems. So that are being implemented. Okay. So this the IoT based or artificial intelligence, they are the most important the aspects, so which can be taken into agriculture, and they are need of the hour nowadays. So once we address the natural resource conservation, so of course we have to take into account biodiversity. So the government of Karnataka or India Forestry Department is at it for addressing the biodiversity issues. Continuously the afforestation program is being done. At least with this, if we achieve the biodiversity issues, so I think we can solve the problem of climate change issues. So for the climate change is now being addressed through giving water saving, life saving irrigations. So as I told, when you conserve the water, at least one spray of water to the growing crops can save its life at least for 10 to 15 days. So that's how we can address the climate change issues. And climate change issues in the agriculture can be addressed by breeding programs, by breeding and the biotechnological tools. They are the most important the technologies for developing the climate resilient varieties of in almost all the crops. So our agriculture scientists are already they are developing the climate resilient varieties in different crops. So in order to suit the requirement of the vagaries of the monsoon, in some year monsoon is delayed, in some year monsoon is gap in between and it is extended, like that. So all sorts of combinations, and the temperature variations will also be there. For delayed monsoon conditions, our scientists are developing different the varieties of the crops. For enhancing the enhanced in the temperature change. Little temperature, high temperature tolerant, the varieties of the crops are also being developed. So like this, the biotechnological tools are helping in the development of the varieties of the crops in different crops. So like this, so I think the challenges are for climate resilient agriculture. They can be solved with conservation of natural resources as well as development of the climate resilient, the varieties or hybrids of important crops. So and then when we are self-sufficient in the food production, now the people are looking after the nutritional security. Food security we are achieved. And you must have seen somewhere, instead of thanking the people who were involved in the Green Revolution, now the people who are making provoking speeches, they are questioning the Green Revolution. And they are telling, who has asked you to make Green Revolution? You see, these are the now, they must not have born during the process of Green Revolution. They are telling now, they are making the comment, we should have eaten whatever the available. And in the name of Green Revolution, so our ecosystem is being spoiled. Okay, who has made that? No one has holistically followed the scientific recommendations. Okay, so they take easily whatever easily available, they adopt easily whatever easily available. The inorganics are easily available, pesticides are easily available, they adopt and they forget the recommendations. The organics are also recommended. Okay, nobody want to rear cattle. Okay, from where they bring the organics? So they want easy manure, easy nutrients. That's what the fertilizers. They continue to add fertilizer, forgetting the addition of the manures, because they don't rear cattle, they don't have bullocks. Everyone is dependent on the machinery. Okay, from where they get the organics? They forget one part and adopted only one use of inorganics. They are not blaming that, they are blaming the science. In that, people are killing the science and people are blaming the science. Had we not implemented the outcomes of the Green Revolution, whether this much of population would have been there on this, in this part of the world, India, one should think that and accept the criticisms and comments made by such the people who make provoking speeches. We accept, we clap and come, because they scold some other people, not us. So that is the tragedy in this the system. So when they are coming to us one to one, so we convince them and we made them to realize and they understand their fault. Nothing wrong in accepting the organic cultivation and the natural farming for growing the quality of the produce for nutritional security. For that, the now thinking is regenerative agriculture. So in the regenerative agriculture is, we are focusing more on use of organics, use of bioagents, biofertilizers, biopesticides. We have the state-of-the-art Institute of Organic Farming, and now it has grown to the extent of Center of Excellence. We are producing all the biofertilizers, we are training the youngsters to produce the biofertilizers, we have incubation centers, and we are producing all the bio insecticides, biopesticides for controlling the insects and diseases. All bio is, and with continuous research for about 20 years, we have developed the organic package of practice for 17 crops, and scientifically organic agriculture we are promoting. Those who are interested to have nutritional security after achieving the food security. For nutritional security, so it is needless to say that we should not be after the high yielding varieties of the crops. High yielding varieties of the crops are for food security. So if you want nutritious output, you should go for our traditional varieties. The local varieties and traditional varieties are rich in almost all the constituents. They are rich in the minerals, they are rich in one or the other protein, they are rich in some amino acids, and they have all the health benefits. So most of the cereals, they are called nutri-cereals, and millets, they are rich in minerals, they are rich in some of the polyphenols, so which have health benefit, and also they are good for diabetic people. They have low glycemic index, they can release slowly the sugar to the blood system. That's what they are taken as for nutritional security. We can go for these traditional varieties of different crops in the regenerative agriculture or in the organic agriculture, so that the constituents for which we are looking for can be concentrated and you can use them for your dietary purposes. Okay. So it doesn't mean that those constituents are not there in the high yielding varieties produced. They are there, but to the limited extent. So we are growing there for larger production. Okay. When the quantity of the produce is more, the constituents are diluted. Okay. So their yield levels are very high. So we cannot expect simultaneously the constituents, the biochemical constituents and mineral contents to be higher in the high yielding varieties of the produce. So that's what, if we are interested in the nutritional security, one must conserve our traditional varieties of the crops. Name any crops, we have traditional varieties. For example, in wheat, so you must have, those who come from the rural area, they must have seen the dicocum variety. In local name they are called sadka. Okay. So that has very good therapeutic value, very low GI compared to normal wheat, and it is rich in iron, zinc, and very low gluten content. Many people are gluten intolerant. Many people can't eat chapati, wheat. They have gluten tolerant. So such people should eat only jawar or the other aspect. They cannot eat wheat. For those people, the sadka or dicocum wheat is most important, and so that has got very high nutritive value, therapeutic value for the diabetes. So like that, in rice also there are local red rice, then black rice. So they can be conserved, and near Khanapur there is a farmer called Shankar Langti who is making every Thursday organic produce sale in Gandhi Pratishthan at Dharwad, near Dharwad Hotel. So there he sells all the produce, highly nutritive produce, the different varieties of rice, jowar, wheat, and also millets. So those who are interested, you can every Thursday it is, every Thursday in Gandhi Pratishtana. So like that, if you are health conscious, okay, so you can go for the traditional variety. That is also challenging. Conserving traditional varieties of crops like this. In vegetables also, there are many the traditional varieties in each type. In tomato, in brinjal, okay, in brinjal, Udupi Gulla, our local Malapura Badnikai. So like that, there are several local varieties which are rich in the nutrient constituents and also minerals, and we can venture into conserving those, the traditional lines, purifying, developing them and giving to the farmers. So we are also at it now, and we have submitted a plan to Government of Karnataka and also Government of India for the requesting the funds, and wherein all the agriculture universities in the state are involved. So we have gone 2 or 3 rounds of discussion on this and identified the varieties. So crops first, crops and varieties, yes. Crops and varieties for the, in the different crops in the different agroclimatic areas of that region, and we are bringing out the traditional varieties release system for the Karnataka, and I think that will lead to achieving the nutrition security. Okay. So instead of the blaming ourselves, so we have to correct the farmers to grow the crops holistically in the integrated way by the combination of both organics and inorganics. And no land is, if you grow in an integrated manner, no land is polluted. Okay. And only in certain pockets in the irrigated ecosystem who are applying the pesticides or the nutrients or fertilizers in a larger quantity to certain extent. Okay. So our food is being polluted, our food is with poison, many people are blaming, and there are no authenticated analytical results. Okay. So instead of blaming, let us advise the farmers in correcting themselves to follow the cultivation practices in the integrated way, so that the food what we grow is not polluted, and also you can achieve nutritional security. And in addition to this, as I have indicated, nowadays the mechanical engineers, computer science engineers or information technology engineers' role is much more in the agriculture. You can collaborate with all the agricultural scientists in order to application of artificial intelligence, IoT, because they are need of the hours for the sustainability in the production. I think these are the few ideas that I wanted to share with you all. If there are any questions, so we can interact. So I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Professor Patil sir highlighted the need for protection, development and sustainable use of natural resources for the future agricultural growth. He has also stressed the need for research and innovation in agriculture. With this, I am sure that we can achieve the self-sufficiency in food grains. Apart from this, we can also provide the food to the entire world. I am thankful to Professor Patil sir for his insightful talk on agriculture. Thank you, sir.